Hi everyone, I'm Jill. Welcome to the Homeschool for Real Life podcast. This video is part of our summer learning series. So there are 3 videos that we have for you talking about ways to keep the learning going during the summer. Because summer is so nice, we relax, we don't keep to our normal schedule of school, but I still want the kids to be learning, and really our days are more fun when we put some enriching learning activities into them. So the other videos talk about ideas for reading and writing and math. This one is all about science. What are some things that you can do to help your kids learn some science over the summer while they're having some fun? The first one is to do some experiments with planting. Try planting things in different places and seeing what happens. Some plants like sun, some like shade, some like it really wet, some like to be more dry. So you can try plants in different places and see how they do. A really easy way to do this is to take some lima beans, dried lima beans from the store, stick each one in a little Ziploc plastic bag with a wet paper towel because seeds need moisture to grow, right? And then put these in different places. Put one in a window. Put one in a cabinet, a dark cabinet where it doesn't get any light. And then one of them, don't even give it any water. Just put it in there with a dry paper towel. And you can try as many places as you want because lima beans are cheap. So you can do as many different experiments as you want and see, how do they grow? Do they all sprout or not? Why not? Which ones grow the best? And I think you may be surprised by what you find. So give it a try. It's a really fun way to learn about plants, doing a little science in the summer. Another thing you can do is check out some playground physics. Go to the playground and think about what happens when you're moving on the playground. Think about the energy you put in as you climb up to the top of the slide. And then, why do you go faster down some slides than others? What if you sit on a towel? Do you go faster or slower? Why? What if you sit on a wet towel? Then what happens? And what's the difference? Think about, why do you go higher when you pump your legs on a swing? How does that work? See what you can think of at the playground. Look it up. See what you can learn about it. Maybe you can find some playground physics online and then make your own video. You can make your own video about playground physics and teach people about what you learned. Another thing you can do is go down by a creek where there's a muddy creek bank and look for animal prints. See if you can find tracks in the sand and use an app or a book or look online to identify who those tracks belong to. Then your child can write a news broadcast and record it about who's been to the creek that day. They can also do a little further investigation as a reporter if they want to find out how that animal lives. Would it have been at the creek during the day or at night? Is it nocturnal or diurnal? Or maybe it's crepuscular. They can check all those words out, learn their meaning, and find out when those animals might have been at the creek. What do those animals eat? Were they looking for food at the creek or just coming to get a drink? So they can learn about these animals and then report on them in their news broadcast or write an article. They can pretend to write a magazine article with photographs of the tracks that you found, and they can also incorporate some photographs of the animals they belong to that they find online. Another idea is to just practice your skills as a scientist. Scientists have to be really good at observation. You can't find out why things happen if you're not closely observing the clues. So scientists are using, sometimes their 5 senses. You have to be careful about taste. But scientists are using their senses and they're observing the world around them and they're observing when they're doing experiments. And this is how they're learning and finding things out. And so get a magnifying glass, get some binoculars, go observe around you and see what you can learn. A really great place for observation is the creek. Get out and go creeking. You might be surprised what you can find when you go in a creek. Just make sure you're doing that safely. Find out about water quality and make sure the water is not too deep or running too fast. But there's a lot you can find at the creek, and some of the things you find are really, really small. If you're a member of H4RL, we actually have a whole creek study science exploration lesson with all sorts of links and interesting things for you. And there's a video of me going out to the creek and showing you how to find things and what I found and what they are. So check that out if you're going to go creeking and you're a member. Otherwise, you can just go to your creek and see what you can find. Another fun summer activity is marble roller coasters. If you go to your hardware store and get some pipe insulation, your kids can use that to make a roller coaster for marbles that goes all over the place. They can do this inside on a rainy day or outside. You're going to need a lot of tape. And it's really great for problem solving and where they can see that scientific process of test, revise, test, and figuring out why is something not working and how can I make it work. They can become roller coaster engineers right at your house. So get that pipe insulation and they can try to make hills and loops and see what the marble does and see if they can figure out why. You can talk about some great scientific terms with momentum and gravity and friction and all of that as well. A really fun thing to do in the summer is to stay up late and go out at night and put up a white sheet and a light and see what bugs come. You'll see different bugs than you do during the day. If you can get a black light, that can also be really helpful with this. I'll put in a link with more information, but checking out the bugs that come and land on your white sheet at night, especially if you can hang it up, can be really cool. And it's so exciting for kids because, I mean, come on, we're staying up late, we're going outside in the dark, and we're looking at creepy bugs. Another fun thing to try in the summer is to build a solar oven. A pizza box works great for this. It doesn't have to be one, but it's an easy way to do it. And then you put some plastic wrap to hold the heat, some foil to reflect the heat into it, and you can make a s'more. You can use the sun's heat to make a s'more, to melt your marshmallow. So this is a delicious science activity to try. I'll put a link in for you for that as well so that you can see some more detailed directions on how to do it. Another really fun thing to do in the summer is to build a slingshot. You can do this with like a peanut butter jar lid, one of those plastic lids. Doesn't have to be peanut butter, but we have those at our house all the time. So if you have a peanut allergy, don't use that. Find another one, maybe a mayonnaise jar lid, something, a plastic lid you can draw or drill some holes into and then connect long rubber bands through and put those over the legs of an upside down kitchen chair or deck chair, patio chair. So go outside with your long rubber bands and put something in that. You can try marshmallows. You can try something heavier, like maybe one of those little hacky sack kind of balls. You can try something smoother, a golf ball. Just be careful at where it's going. Don't hit anybody or any windows. You can try water balloons that are bigger and heavier and see what difference does it make, the type of thing. What about a big marshmallow versus a small marshmallow? See what difference it makes. See what happens if you draw it way back or just a little bit. What happens if it's angled up high or angled down low. So you can try all different things and talk about, again, momentum and trajectory and talk about why is it flying the way it is, right? What does the mass of this object have to do with it? What does the shape of the object have to do with it? You can try a wiffle ball and all those holes change the way it flies quite a bit. So you can do a lot of scientific investigation and discussion with that and also just have a lot of fun. This is, again, kind of looking at those observation and deduction skills. You can have your child grab maybe a set of 10 toys, like 10 little plastic figurines they have, something like that, and some Play-Doh. And then take turns secretly grabbing one of those, making some footprints in the Play-Doh, putting it back in the group, mixing it in. Take turns being the detective to figure out which toy made those prints, and how do you know? Those are your 10 science ideas. I hope you're having a great summer. If you enjoyed the video, like it, subscribe, check it out. Check us out on Facebook. and make sure you visit us at h4rl.com.